the name of Amen, the supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true law and order. The real ones that gathering in the name of Amen, the supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true Lord. And Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward as the Republic of Intellect. The real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time. I send greetings out to you, and I send peace out to you in our Amenic language by saying to you, Menzeka Amen. Good evening. I am your host, the intellectual leader, MENKARAYZZ. This is Mentellect Radio, and tonight we're going to be discussing the heat wave and tsunami of solar projections to come. What you're going to see as we're moving forward into the third part of this millennium, the third decade of this millennium, in certain places, certain areas, images are going to start to appear, futuristic images, structures, what I want to say, structures, you might see certain vehicles or, vessels flying through the air. You're going to start to see certain things in certain areas, especially where the heat is concentrated. Right? You're going to start to see certain images. What you're seeing taking place is projections that are altering this three-dimensional realm. Changes that are taking place that are making their way into the time space of this dimension. That's what you're watching. This is what you're going to start to see. I'll give you a good example of this. How many of you heard when you might be someplace hot, like they say if you in desert area where it's extremely hot, they say you see things like mirages, right? You'll see images, far away in the distance, and it'll look like, it looked like a building there, or it looked like anything, whatever you think is something you imagining. But what you're actually seeing, because of that heat and that intensity that is accumulating in one place, you start to see the forming of an image that will be there in the future. That's what you see. You will start to see the groundwork, the blueprint for solar images that are making their way into this atmosphere. In the present state, you'll see future images. The heat waves, meaning they're going to come together and form into that tsunami, that huge ball of what they would call fire, which is really projection all building up to start forming an actual image. It is going into the effect of showing a physical image. And at certain points, people will catch it. It will become a reflection. It will start to make an imprint or an impression. It's like literally being zapped into this dimension out of the blue from the fourth dimension. They're literally zapping images into this three-dimensional realm. Images of things that will exist in the future. This is the heat wave of tsunami and solar projections that are to come. Right? Heat images. Right? Heat images, because again, like in a camera, and you show the movement of a film, when the film would run out, it'd have this burnt out look on it. It'd have a heated image on it, or it looks like it's burnt out because it made a great impression in the actual footage. It's the same thing, making that heat image here. Everything is here by way of a heat image. Everything is here by way of a heat image and a tsunami of solar projection. Everything. All the elements in the earth are here by that. We, as the Amen race, are really here by that as well. Why? Because it took a concentrated effort. It took a concentrated effort, which what happens when you have a concentrated effort? A group, a collective of minds all unified into one unimental force to produce a heat wave, a solar construct, to focus somewhere, to start creating images and worlds and life and all of these things that you see in existence. They're projecting their image into a space. That is a form of a heat wave, because all those images are going into creating another image, another reality. And then those images are continuously and constantly built up by those people. And then what is accomplished? What happens? What happens is that all things start to move in a motion, and a sequence, and a frequency, and an extension of that. And worlds start building on top of worlds, and dimensions start to form, and spaces start to be filled in, and all of these things start to make their impression by way of the triggered mind, by way of that triggered unimental force being channeled into one frequency, one tone, one collective vibration that registers as heat, and a wave, and a pattern, and an extended space to produce projections, images that have to be laid out in order for a pattern to be formed, in order for a bridge to be built into dimension to dimension to dimension. These tsunamis, these heat waves and these tsunamis, which are real, very real, they are the links between each and every dimension. They are the links between each and every dimension. When you start seeing these things, like what they saw in the 1900s, when they saw the airplane, when they saw these cars, when they started to see these things again, you cannot put out things that you do not mentally see first. It is impossible for you to put out things that are not projected to you first, unless you're copying somebody else. That's different. But even that person who's the source of that came from a greater source. So the first one to receive that is the one who put that out and whatnot, and then those who may extend on that, that's different. However, a projection has to be sent forth. When cars, computers, all these things came into effect, that was a projection, a heat wave or tsunami that was coming forward into this planet. This is why NASA and all these people chart the stars, because they know that as soon as they're going to get in the beginning, usually at the beginning of each millennium, they get one big buildup or a cluster of comets or stars or whatever the case may be, which they call it comets or whatever, that makes its way into the planet. As that heat wave, as that tsunami is solar projection, it makes its way in, because it's not just a comet, because who would care about it, just a comet coming to Earth or a piece of debris or rubble? No, the comet is actually bringing transmission with it. That's why they track the comets. That's why they track and they look at the star patterns, because they know when the star patterns change, that means comets are coming through it. And if comets are coming through it, transmission is being delivered. Heat waves, tsunamis, solar projections are being opened up. Doorways are being opened. They know that at every century or so that happens. That's why they chart the stars and they watch it. This is why NASA, which is really an astronomy department. That's all NASA is. NASA is an astronomy department. It's dealing with astronomy. They call it space federation, but it's an astronomy department as well. Most of NASA's whole thing is just watching the stars, watching for any movement, because they know that when there's movement, that's something coming through. And this is why when they feed the information to people like your Bill Gates and all of them, they start going crazy, because they tell them any minute now, any second now. They know. They know that images are going to be delivered here, because we still in the beginning of this new millennium. We still here. We only 20 years into the new millennium. 20 years. That's nothing. 20 years in to the 21st century. So do you know what's coming in this century? We ain't even really seen no real technology or any real advanced things come through there, or any advanced. They're starting to come through right now. Because it was the same way, if you go back to 1920 and whatnot, like I said, it took a minute for stuff to start popping. A little bit after 1920, that's when you start seeing stuff popping. Right? You seen the little car and all that other stuff, and they was messing around, but stuff started moving after the 20s. Or during and after the 20s. Everything was still a build-up. So you're going to see the same thing start to happen here. And the COVID-19 was really the kickoff to that. It's going to be a different way of doing business because they're going to have to figure out a different way to do business to keep up with the transmission that's going to come here. Things are going to speed up. Okay? Because they know projections are coming in here. They know that projections are going to come here that are going to rearrange the situations and the circumstances that are set up here currently, that are going to open up the gateway, the floodgates to upper dimensional transmission. And certain people are going to be empowered with transmission, higher frequency through these heat waves and these tsunami of solar projections. They're going to see certain things. They're going to be sped up. And they know that's happening. They know you're going to see more and more images that they can't just pass off as, oh, those was just images of the sky, or, oh, those was just images that, from, they'll make up some BS of stuff you're going to start really seeing. You see? Because, again, we in that time of change. This is, again, the 21st century. And in the 21st century, like I said, the doors open to next level things. And all since the 20th century, well, they started, I'll say this, they was slowly going through their evolution here. Like I said, they got the rail system here going. They got the mail system here going. So they were setting up systems, okay? But the only way they was able to set these systems up is because, again, they knew that they had that frequency coming onto the planet. And when they didn't understand at the time, that frequency was coming onto the planet to set up these systematic orders. The rail system, the mail system, the prison system, all these frequencies were coming to set up systems, networks, you see, to control things, like a body that has function. That was all being delivered in that heat wave and that tsunami of solar projections that was coming through, and it continued to come through this transmission because it is continuously delivering images, pictures, directions, guidelines on how to govern and rule for those who are bright to receive it. For the ones who just dim and dark and black as hell or whatever the hell may be, black mentally just going, they're not going to receive these. The ones who are going to be open to it, they're going to receive these transmissions in an even bigger image. Like I keep going back again to that commercial where we seen the bronze man flying and the humans running on all fours. When you saw the almond flying and the human running on all fours, what made the beast bring that out? You gotta ask yourself, out of the blue, what made the beast bring that out? And who would ultra stand there other than us? Who would ultra stand there? We're gonna see the beast confessing everything that I've been saying, that we've been being transmitted to, because they're gonna have to give it all up before they literally give it all up. They're gonna have to give it up all about themselves, everything, and they can't even hide it no more because we don't even need them to tell us nothing. But as we moving forward in the future, that heat wave and that tsunami of solar projection is going to force everything out of people. It's going to make everybody bare naked. When I say it's going to make them bare naked, it's going to make everything transparent, everything up front, everything seen, everything is going to be just open to see for reception. Those, like I said, you're going to see just who's who and who is this one. And like I said, when you actually start to see who's who and what's what, it's going to scare the hell out of you. A lot of the things that you thought you knew, the people you thought you knew, the people you grew up with, the people you laid next to, and all that, that's going to scare the hell out of you when you start to see them for who they are. When you start to see all this stuff for what it is. And like I said, this COVID-19 thing, the beast know what he's doing, because what he actually did is he forcing people to stay indoors, where they have to actually look at themselves, receive what's going through here. See, because when you can't really go anywhere, where ain't nothing on TV, You're going to start by just literally picking up some form of light transmission and whatnot. And to some who are dim mentally, who are filled with junk mentally, they're only going to get minimum frequency, but that minimum frequency registers as boredom. That minimum frequency that they get in their mind that registers as boredom is actually supposed to be a space filled up with higher projection. But because mentally they can't receive higher projection, that is literally an empty space that is filled up with nothing. And they'll be sitting there to my, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. I don't know. That's a space that is supposed to be filled with something. But usually it's not filled with something because it's, the other spaces is filled with something else, something lesser, something lower. But all that's going to be shown, all that's going to be revealed. As these images are being delivered, going forward, we're also going to see reflections of ourselves that we may not like. We're going to see reflections of ourselves that we may not like, ugly parts of ourselves, things that we're going to look down at, things that might scare you about yourselves. That's real. The scariest thing to confront and accept is things about yourself, things deep down buried inside, thoughts that you have that are going to spring to the surface due to this heat wave and the tsunami of solar projections. You see, it's going to force all those things to the surface. So make yourself good with the inner things in you, the inner demons in you, things that you don't like about yourself. Make yourself good with those things. Make them known to who you with. Make them known to yourself. Accept them in yourself. And you learn to maneuver with that. Because again, these things are going to come out more and more in who you are. The beast is going to come out more and more in who he is. You see? You see it already. They're only going to get worse. The beast coming down in you and fury, knowing his time is short because of the heat wave and the tsunami of these solar projections is forcing him out. It's forcing everybody to be who they came here to be. Simple as that. It's forcing everything because what does heat do? Heat makes things rise or it makes things fall. Heat either makes things rise or make things fall. You see? So this is what they know is going to come. A complete switch off of current power and a complete regeneration of future power. They know it's coming. Anytime a motherfucker going to say he going to get a dome to cover the earth so that the sunlight don't get in, that motherfucker is not, he ain't crazy. Because a businessman who is reputable, you know it got to be something serious. If Bill Gates say he want to cover the earth with a dome so that the sun don't come in, you know that got to be something serious. Here's a man who is a reputable businessman. Anybody would have said that 50 years ago, they would have clowned him. They'd have been, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You see? But I was watching this Twilight Zone, old Twilight Zone. And, I like them old Twilight Zones, the black and white with Rod Serling. There was a story on there where these people, they was dying. It was all Caucasian, right? And they were sweating because what it was the sun kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and they were screaming, they were sweating. Their water was dried up, everything, and the sun was just getting hotter, and they was like, they was talking about how the record heat on the planet and how, they couldn't take it. And they was like, we only got 12 hours. We only got 12 hours. And they was like melting away, So when they make things like that, again, that is a real fear. The sun is a real fear. You see? That is a real fear. That is a real fear of transmission and a great illumination. You see? A great illumination is going to take place. That's why I tell you people, those of you people that's out here living for this world, man, you people that's putting your three-dimensional little worries ahead of Amen, putting your three-dimensional worries ahead of Amen and ahead of this transmission. I tell you, y'all fools, man. Amen is burning this world out, man. Amen is burning this world out. All the things that y'all niggas are sitting around upset about, worried about, y'all damn your children, your child support, your this man, this woman, you know what, a goddamn relationship, or whatever the hell you niggas sitting up here worried about, the stimulus package, Donald Trump, whatever. Man, you fools can't see Amen burning this world out, man. Amen is burning this world out through these heat waves, this tsunami of solar projection. Amen is burning this whole existence out. Amen is burning it out. And y'all, and it's always you niggas that want to hold on to this illusion where you've been doing nothing but losing. You crying about your little three-dimensional worries. All that's being burned out and burnt away, man. It's not going to matter. As we going forward and whatnot, you're going to see all the things that you put all your choices, like these people who thought they was going to work the next day, going to work next week. Now they can't go no goddamn way. Problem solved. You ain't got to worry about your job no more. You ain't got one. You see how fast these things get wiped away? How people running around scared to death, walking around with masks on their face because somebody just said something. They whole goddamn world done been altered. That means that Amen is burning this thing away, man. When you see people losing their minds like this, that means Amen burning this frequency, man. Amen is frying this goddamn frequency. It's frying the frequency so much that the beast losing his mind. You could be a transgender and go in a little girl's bathroom with little girls. A man who was a woman, you got the right in the court system. That's people losing their mind. That has nothing to do with no trying to be LBGQ correct. That's people losing their goddamn minds, and they trying to cover their insanity with laws and trying to make things look progressive. That's just the beast hiding the fact that he is losing it mentally. They breaking down mentally. All the genetic defects are starting to come out. That's what you're seeing right now. That's all being forced to the surface by the heat and the tsunami of the solar projection. I gotta keep looking from time to time because I don't want to mess the title up. But this is all being forced out. You seeing all of his imperfections being forced out, man. You see? All the homosexuality, all the lesbianism, all the freakism, all the bestiality, all the pedophilia, all the stuff he's been doing is now coming to the surface. That's all you really see. He on self-destruct right now. What happens when you got a perfect machine and working order and then it starts to falter because you ain't oiling the machine no more, you ain't taking care of it, a.k.a. Amen ain't sending them no more goddamn transmission. That's pretty much cutting off. Scattering right now because they're trying to figure out. So now the machines start to break down because now Amen ain't servicing them no more mentally. So now all the imperfections going to come out. That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing all the imperfections come out. All the weird stuff come out. All the animal genetic come out. All the madness come out. You see? And they trying to make it look like, oh, no, we're trying to be progressive. No, y'all covering what y'all want to come out about yourself, what y'all just can't hold no more. Y'all got tired of playing that role, you know, the white, upstanding white American with the three-piece suit on, and your wife over here and your 2.3 children over here. Y'all getting tired of that BS. The real y'all is coming out. And the only way to keep the farce going is they got to make niggas even slower. They got to dumb niggas down even more so that they can stay on top and keep receiving their light that is quickly slipping. The beast don't come down to you in theory knowing that his time is short because everything is being exposed. Once everything is being exposed, you ain't got nothing over nobody no more. These images see a future world is being projected here that don't include you. They know that. This is what's driving them crazy, because now when they look into the future, when they having their little seances and they having their little Ouija boards and their little Wicca circles, and they doing their little rituals butt ass naked and whatnot, having sex orgies with each other and freaking off and whatnot. And when they try to look into the future of what's going to come for them, it ain't looking too bright. In fact, it ain't looking like nothing. And they like, why it was a time when we could see and we could predict everything that was going to happen. Nah, not no more. Not no goddamn more. See, because that brightness, that reflection into the future, those tsunamis are making themselves bright. Those heat waves are making themselves, those images are starting to make an impression into the present state. And in the future realm, they don't exist. They don't exist in the future realm as in being in that state of power again. They don't exist. See, this is why they're trying to say, why are we not getting any ideas on how to fix the next system of monetary exchange? Why is it not coming anymore? We're going to have to sit and get in the circle. We're going to have to get in the circle and we're going to have to praise Satan, Amen, God or somebody, and we're going to have to get this reception coming back in. Let's go sacrifice some niggas. Do what we got to do to get this energy got back up and going again. I'm being funny, but that's real. It's not coming for them no more. It's not sparking for them no more. It's outshining them. Because their images come through the lunar current. Their images come through the lunar current. You see? Their images come through the lunar current, and the lunar current basically softens or gives a more watered down image or impression of what the Amen was really trying to project here. But now the solar projection is trying to bypass the lunar reflection. Certain images are going to bypass the lunar reflection because they need to be here and they need to make a greater impression. That's why they look at the stars, how they've been scattered, how they've been parted, what has happened, what the activity is. I told you that NASA is an astrology agency for the government. It is an astronomy agency. They just got known for making rockets that's going to the moon and things like that. No, they was really around a lot longer, watching the stars, charting the stars. You see, but way before they started doing rockets and all this, trying to go to other planets. You have to know what to expect. What you should see, right? What you will be able to pick up that others won't. I tell those of you who are of the elect, you will pick up and see other things so quickly that others won't. It's going to amaze you at times. You're going to be seen that much quicker than the people that you once walked next to, moved next to, talked next to. You're going to see yourself that much quicker. Your family members, they're going to notice a change in you. They're going to feel that spark of growth. They're not going to know how to describe it. Right? And what they see, they will begin to fall down toward, worship, put on a pedestal, in a sense. They'll start to make you literally like the head of the family. You will become the person, the go-to person in your black family. You will become the go-to person because they will see that everything they have done has been in vain and in darkness and in a state of ignorance. In other words, they're going to have to admit the fact that they've been dumb, right? Because we're all going to come to that conclusion that everything they've done in life has been for nothing. Dumb. In darkness. In blackness. That it was all for nothing. See, and that's where a lot of these people are coming. And you know what? Nothing says that more. Watch as this COVID thing goes, how the suicide rate is going to start to kick up. Watch how the suicide rate is going to start to kick up as this COVID thing gets more into effect. And you know why they're talking about a second round of it is because the winter time is coming, so they really need the numbers to kick up. People get real depressed around the winter time, right? They get real depressed around the winter time. They get suicidal around the winter time. So now you throw a COVID-19 into that, you're going to expect to see a lot of people go out of here. You see. But that brings about the insanity of the beast. That brings about the insanity. Amen is utilizing the insanity of the beast by causing the beast to, by sending in this projection, it causes the beast to have like an overload. They're literally having a mental overload because of these projections that are coming in, these heat waves and these projections coming in. They're literally having an overload. All right? And that's why I said the 5G has to reinforce the mind state of these people, because they're literally going to have a mental overload. And they're going to start breaking down mentally. And like I said, when you got people that's forced to be in the house where they can't move around, and they got to look at the reality of what their life is, and it starts to get magnified in their mind that they ain't accomplished a damn thing, their life don't mean nothing, you're going to see these people get depressed, and they're going to start killing themselves. They know the suicide rates are going to go up, and they know it's going to go up amongst the beasts. And a lot of you niggas that follow me, y'all going to start offing yourself too, of course. You know, because they really don't have no bridge into the future. There is no bridge for them going into the future. It's just straight darkness. Like I said, what they call boredom. That's straight darkness. That's the abyss for them. That is the primordial abyss where they got to be by themselves, and it ain't nothing to do. They can't go outside. They can't do it. They just got to sit there and just be by themselves. And they have to be, just, again, why you think the beast made up the whole thing of prison, where he locked you in a jail cell and you regimented to live a certain way of life for the rest of your life, right? Or he put you in solitary confinement and rather than just kill you, because he know it'll make you suffer to be by yourself and whatnot, or at least he think in his mind how it would make him suffer, because you just have to focus on that dark space. And you don't know how to fill that dark space. But now, through this projection, these dark spaces and certain people are going to be filled. They're going to be filled. And they know that. Certain people's spaces are going to be filled with images, thoughts, transmissions, ideas. And they're going to link into a greater mind field, a greater picture, a future picture. And certain people that are going to meld a mesh into that picture magnetically, those are the people who are meant to be in alignment to that future picture. The beast is now seeing that he and a lot of these other people here are not a part of that future picture. They could sit up here and talk about how many numbers they got up here on the planet, how many so-called, all these people. It ain't going to matter. It's not going to matter. You see, it's not going to matter what the present day number is. It's not going to matter what the head count is, what the census say. You scrambling to take the census numbers and whatnot. It ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter how many people you mark and chip. It's not going to matter. Y'all, the time already been stamped. The images done already started to make their way here. The images are being put in your mind to put out there to show the elect the sign of the times. The sign of them is stamped in your head to make a commercial where you Caucasians and you humans are running on all fours and the almond is flying over your head. Almond forcing out what y'all really seeing happening in the images that y'all really see going through your mind. Because in order for you to put that image out, they had to see that image in their mind. Right or wrong. They had to see that. Where is that image coming from? What the hell would make you put something like that out? And it's a beer commercial. That's what they're seeing. And went right over everybody's head. They showing you what the future is. That was really an out of the blue solar projection through them. And you're going to see a lot more. When you start to see our images, appear in one place and reappear and disappear here and reappear in another place, you're going to be like, how the that's how you're going to be. When you start to see into other time portals and frames where you can see your grandchildren and stuff like that, when you start to see into that, you're going to be like, how is that? That's coming. When you can start to hover up 3 to 6 inches in the air and just move about like you're not even walking and you really are hovering, that's coming about. All through these projections, through these tsunamis, because what that is the future world is locking itself into the present world and is pulling everything that's meant to be forward into the future world. And the things that are not meant to be there, they're being blocked out and they're being exited out. You see? It's literally locking in another time frame, locking in another reality, an extended reality. This is what you're going to see. And these heat waves and these tsunamis and projections, you're going to see that. Another time frame is making its way in. Future images are making their way in. And how you're going to be in future states is locking in. You can literally going to be able to look at yourself a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, then look at yourself now, and you're going to be like, it's not going to even seem like it was an even shift. It's going to seem like it was a jump. You see what I'm saying? That represents you being projected in, the image of who you are in the next time frame being projected in. And sometimes it is meant for you to make that jump really quickly, so your image will jump quickly. Sometimes you will change in a year and a half time where it took somebody 3 or 4 years to change to that. That's how accelerated the pace in your growth will be because of these heat waves and these tsunamis that's coming here. It's going to literally grow people or generate people into next level images of themselves quicker. So there's going to be a lot of us taking place. And it will bring about the extension or the extinction of many. It's going to be more of an extinction than an extension. Those who are not necessary. I don't care what you are, black, white, anything in between. It's going to bring about an extension and an extinction, as it is meant to do, as it is meant to introduce in all of these images, on all of these time frames. That is the reality of it. It's a soul projection. It is a soul projection. It is a projection that is making itself clearer and clearer. It is making itself clearer and clearer every day. Every day that we've been presented a next reality. Because up until Mentellect, what did we have, really? What did we have up until Mentellect? Mentellect is part of that heat wave of tsunami and solar projection. It's part of it. Definitely a part of it. Because what did we have before Mentellect? We had played out Christianity, played out Islam, played out Judaism, played out spirituality, played out metaphysics, played out ancient Egypt. What do we really have? Played out atheism, played out I love science. We had all that last minute. So what else now? What else now? What did Mentellect present to us? That we are a totally different species of being. You ain't never heard that. And that we are the Amen. That we're not human. That is what was delivered to us in this heat. And this heat wave that is building up, because it built up into a full-on transmission. It built up into a full-on transmission, and it is releasing itself every day through these broadcasts. It built up as a full-on transmission that took from 2003 up into now to start releasing fully. And like I said, I'm nothing but the radio. I'm just a radio. That's all. Just giving you what comes through me. That's all. Just giving you what comes through me. Not giving you anything from me, but giving you what comes through me. Just a receiver. And again, this is what lets you know who will receive, or who will be able to receive that heat wave or tsunami and solar projection, who will be able to receive that. Because again, as those heat waves and those tsunamis or solar projections go out, it's going to cause certain people to have strokes, people to break down, and certain people are going to be able to receive it. They're going to be able to receive that transmission in its entirety. They're going to be able to receive it in its entirety. The full-on download. They're going to be able to receive it from on high. And they're going to be able to live it out. They're going to be able to extend themselves through it. While others will be talking about put a dome around the sun, around the planet to block out the sun. You see, while they're saying that, what that means is certain people are going to be able to receive it and others will not. That's all that means. And they are more worried about the people who are able to receive it versus those who are not. They're more worried about that, which you will be able to see. Again, now notice the beast, he doing things out in the open that 50 years ago would have went right totally over niggas' head. Now he's doing stuff to where the average nigga could see like, damn, duh. And even though you still got a lot of duh niggas who still can't see, but to the average one, like I said, even the average niggas there, oh man, that's a conspiracy. Now these dumb niggas can see it. So you know the light got to be bright. He can't even hide what he's doing no more. It's just right in plain sight. The pushing of the black woman with the white man, effeminizing the so-called black man, making him a homosexual. Like I said, he can't even hide it no more. When you get that bad, when you can't even conceal what you're doing, you can't even conceal that which was supposed to be subliminal. That means you being exposed, and what is exposing you? The heat wave and the tsunami hitting this planet, where everything is being revealed. Why you think we in the book of Revelations? Why you think we in the book of Revelations? To reveal what brings about the revelation, what reveals things, the light or the brightness, does it not? It reveals things. The sun has always been a key component in the explanation of things being made clear, bright, eyes 10,000 times brighter than the sun, the Lord's eyes, they say. Reflections, extended vision. That's all that's saying. Mental projection, seeing into these different dimensions, being an open vessel to be connected to that. Again, through this, because only those who are able to upload and receive that heat wave and that tsunami, because again, certain people are going to stroke out, certain people are going to die out, certain people are not going to be able to make it through, then you're going to have those who are going to be able to receive it and just upload it into their body, take it down into their system and take it into their vessel and be able to push it out and extend themselves by it. Then you're going to have those who not. And that's where it's going to be the end at. That's why I said we're in the age of extension and also in the age of extinction. Did I not say that? We're in the age of extension and in the age of extinction. Those who are not going to make that jump, they ain't going to make it. And it don't look good for people like Bill Gates. That's why he want to put a dome around the damn planet. That's why he want population control. It don't look good for people like Bill Gates in them. That's really why they doing this. This is why it's a COVID-19. Because it don't look good for them. So if it don't look good for them, they ain't going to make it look good for you. You see, they got to block out the reality, the seen future that's coming in living color and real images and extended vision. They have to wipe that out. That is a reality that is making itself present every day. They have to wipe that out. And in the process, wipe out a lot of people. And those who are not are going to be lifted up. We'll be right back. The images that are being delivered in this future dimension, in this fourth dimension, that are being shown in these heat waves and tsunamis of solar projection are meant to make an impression in the minds of many, to give us a roadmap to where we should go, to give us direction to where we should go, whether it be extended path or an extinct path, right? You're going to have people exiting this realm because they are on the path of the extinct. And you're going to have those who are extending, entering the future realm because they are of the extended. The projection will reveal that. The projection will reveal that more and more. Right? And the thing that the projection does is it puts the spotlight, so to speak, on those who are the bright projected. It puts the spotlight on them and they start to be more and more seen. And as they're more and more seen, they're making an impression. People start to notice something different about you because a projection or image is being made on you, within you. Your image and your frequency starts to change, and people start to notice that. And the more and more you start to shine or extend, people start to see in your shining and your brightness, they start to see the darkness in themselves. They start to see themselves getting darker and darker because as you're showing future extension of who you are, the potential and the ability to grow into something greater, you're going to have those who are stuck and seeing your brightness, and it's going to show the darkness in themselves, the blackness in themselves, the inability to accomplish nothing. The inability to accomplish not one thing, to be constantly losing. You know how people say, people get jealous of you because they see so much in you that you're going to accomplish and they don't see nothing in themselves. You're going to start to see that more and more in people. They're going to start to pull on that hate envy. They're going to start to pull more on that hate envy through the heat wave and the tsunami of solar projection. What has been the last thing they've always been talking about for the last 10, 15, 20 years, the haters, the haters, the haters. Why has this term hater come out so much? I love my haters and whatnot, and more of this jealousy thing come out because you had people like this, right? And the only way you have people who play on that or harp on that emotion of jealousy is because a separation is taking place. That separation is taking place where you have those who are going to extend themselves versus those who are going to be extinct. And the ones who know their lives are pretty much over. And it doesn't mean that it has to be right now. I mean, their lives could be over as in there will be no more growth in their lives. They're going to die the way they are in a state of misery, in a set of circumstances that they don't want to be in. So that's the end of their life. And they see your life starting to extend on a higher level. You're starting to know more about yourself. So your life is extending. And the projection is going to show that more and more. And then what does that develop? That develops hate in those people who are going to look up to you, look and see the future in you where they don't see it in themselves. That projection is going to show that. Like you ever see, like you had your grandparents or your mother to say, I could tell that boy, that girl going to be something in life. And then they look at the other person, like, I could tell that person ain't going to be shit in life. Right or wrong? They gonna die young. They ain't going to be shit in life. And that girl going to do, and they end up being right. They seen the brightness coming off of that person. That sometimes the elders see it. They'll see that projection coming off of that person, and they'll see the darkness coming off of the other one. You see? They'll see the blackness coming off of one and the brightness coming off of the other one. You see? That's what that is. They picking up that real projection. They picking up that real heat wave and that tsunami of projection because it shows on the people. The people carry that on them. Certain people will carry it strong in them. And they're able to get certain visions of things. That's why they become those bright people who bring certain technologies in, certain ways of thinking, and introduce things, because they become the open doorway to that transmission. They become the open doorway. They become the open vessel to that transmission. I am one of them. I am that open doorway to that transmission. Because when you hear me talking, you hear me speaking with such assurity and such clarity, that's not me talking. I'm just catching a wave, and I just ride the wave. Because the average NUBEN would have been stuttering and stammering and not knowing what he's saying and whatnot, and I would have probably been broken off in certain things if I tried to do it on my own. I'm not equipped to handle the perception, so I ride the wave. I'm riding the wave right now, this transmission. This transmission is the wave, that heat wave and that tsunami, because it transmits as heat. It picks up as heat. Your mind your mind frequency connects into that mental space, in that extended mental space in those upper dimensions, and it pulls in the frequency into that mind field around your brain, and it pulls it into your neurotransmitters, so it starts to download those images into your head, because it's pulling from the fourth dimension. You're pulling live feed from those heat waves and those tsunamis of projected images. You pulling it from out of the fourth dimension like a magnet into your mind field, and into your mind field, which is a magnetic frequency around your brain, a solar magnetic frequency that pulls it in, and it goes into your brain, and it starts to process it in the neurotransmitters. Then you start to see the images. Then you start to see them. You got others who are not going to be able to do that, because their neurotransmitters are too connected to the three-dimensional realm. Those are the people who are in darkness. Those are the people who are in darkness. Those represent the mass majority of people running around here with a bunch of goddamn masks on their face. That's the people in darkness. They don't have enough brightness to think like, something ain't right about this. I ain't doing this shit. You know what I mean? Because their mind don't work like that. Their mind works toward the limitation. That's the blackness in their mind. There's a lot of black people walking around here, and they all ain't bronze. You got a lot of black white people. You got a lot of black Indian. All these humans are black on some level, meaning ignorant. They all black on some level, but they like to make the bronze ones the epitome of blackness, simple-mindedness, darkness, because they know that you are the ones who can potentially absorb all the light or the brightness. They all walking around here black as you know what, F. I'm not going to use the F word. They all walking around here clueless, but they want to act like you're the most clueless person on the planet. Let me take a call. Two, you on air.
Okay, so basically, like all these movies in the past 10, 20 years that have been like the end of the world, tsunamis, the asteroids, and stuff like that. This is what you're talking about. That's what they were representing in those movies, not the actual physical thing that's going to happen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly. They made these things look cataclysmic, like, as in the world, being drowned out and things. No, what they were really trying to show you is that these transmissions, these heat waves and things that were coming in, they were delivering in the images of next worlds to come, future worlds to come. And in that pace being accelerated, it just basically tore apart these worlds, because these worlds were being replaced with next worlds.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, that's all right.
Okay.
Thanks.
That was the form of that being ushered in. Those worlds were being ushered in. Those worlds were being ushered in. Those worlds where the beast came here and took over America, that image was being ushered in. It was meant for them to do that. It had to be ushered in by somebody. You see, to get this place to the next level. We wasn't in our right state of mind to bring it in, so it had to be ushered in by somebody. Too many of y'all started being black back then. You know, you wanted to get caught up in tradition and custom. You know, dancing. You know how you niggas do. And whatever time frame you niggas in, you niggas get distracted. You know, you be building empires, then somebody nigga get mad at the other nigga, he stab or shoot the other nigga, next thing you know, everything over with. Next thing, them white man come in, he take over everything, and he put you against this one. And like I said, you niggas get out of line. You get out of line, and once you niggas get out of line, like I said, the heat wave and the tsunami got to put your ass back in line. Those you meant to get in line. And those you ain't meant to get in line, your ass gonna get knocked off the line. That's how that's gonna work. The ones who meant to get put in alignment to receive this transmission, and those are the elect. The ones who not gonna be on that list or in alignment, they're gonna get knocked off. Again, extinction or extinction. Extinction or extension. Extension or extinction. That's it. That's how it's working. And it's all being projected because as these images are coming in, and you don't exist in these future images, in these future visions and whatnot, and some of these pictures, you're not showing up. That means that you're not part of it. So as we moving closer and closer into those time frames, and you're not a part of that time frame, you're going to start to fade off in this image, on this level. You're going to start getting sick. You're going to start breaking down. You're going to start fizzling out because you ain't making it into the next frame. When your body start breaking down, you start frizzling out, you start getting sick or whatever the case may be, and you start feeling the end coming near and whatnot, that's you fizzling out of the next scene. You being phased out of the next scene. That's all that represents. And you being pulled into a next direction. The channel being turned, you ain't on the next page. You ain't on the next channel. You being turned to another channel. That's how that works. The projection brings that all about. The projection introduces those next images. And certain people are going to be in those next images and certain people not. That's just how it is. We are here to be the extension of all of those images that came before us. Be it projected down, those who were running the empires in the ancient world, up into this world, and now into the next. We are a continuation of an extension that is ongoing, a transmission that is on and continuous. We are picking up where they left off. We are not repeating what they did. We are picking up the transmission and we are moving on as we are being directed. Because there was a time where there was no direction. When everybody was black as you know what. But now that's starting to extend. The reality of that is starting to extend, evolve. A transformation is taking place here. And those who are meant to be part of it have been chosen. They have been chosen already. Why you think I gave a little speech the other day to telling these niggas to stop listening to my broadcast? I'm not here for you. I ain't got no earthbound terrestrial plans for you niggas that don't involve you getting your mind together, getting your mind in alignment, which I know y'all not going to do, so stop listening to me. I ain't got no conscious message for you. I ain't got no kundalini energy to sell you. I ain't got no snake venom or no con game for you that you looking for. No. Just living reality for those who are of the next world, the fourth dimension, the bright race. That's all. Just giving them the blueprint, giving them the roadmap, laying out the direction for the state of projection. That's all. And that's what leads us going forward. That's what gets us in alignment again, moving, because we ain't been moving. We've been moving in circles because we've been absent of bright. We've been absent of bright, and now the bright is being cut on. It's being let in. It is bypassing, or it's starting to bypass the moon. You see these blood moons. The blood moon represents the moon's like bypassing the moon's transmission, the moon's brightness bypassing the sun's light. That's what a blood moon is. It is the sun's transmission or brightness bypassing the light of the moon, where it bleeds through, as they say, the light of the moon. The heat, the energy and the power bleeds through it. It moves through that and it blocks out the luminous look over the moon. That's what that is. So, with that being said, we're going to take a little bit of a break. And let me see what I want to play. I want to play something nice. Some traveling music. Let me see. Chameleon, Herbie Hancock. We'll be right back. Back to see children drawing futuristic images and artwork coming soon. Images on walls, images in their neighborhoods, images that are going to be futuristic looking. Right? Expect them to doing their artwork. Expect their sound and music to change. See, right now, the beast is trying to add an artificial sound to the music to keep out the natural sound that would be evolving and is going to evolve in this next generation. And in the music alone, which is projected by the heat and that tsunami of solar projection from the fourth dimension and the upper dimensions, even it's going to channel the music to change. See, the beast had nothing to do with the music changing in the 70s. That was a natural and organic change through that heat wave, tsunami, and solar projection. One of the offshoots of that was the comet Bennett that ripped the sky through 1970. Right, started its descent somewhere around 69 and made it streak through this planet in 1970. And I think it went through into 1971. It orbited into this planet, the comet Bennett. And with that, the door opened for transmission to come through. When the comet streaks the sky like that, it is literally opening a door, metaphorically opening a door to a next stage of transmitted images and order and structure is opening the door to that. So as that's starting to stream in, it's starting to alter things that are in the present. It starts to alter and change things. Even at the sound, they looks, all this starts to be altered because on the upper dimensions, you don't look the same. The music don't sound the same. It takes on a different form. Like 100 years ago, if you listen to the music now, you listen to what we heard in the 70s, you listen to what we heard in the 60s, did that music sound the same 100 years ago? Did it even look like it was an evolution to anything from what they was playing 100 years ago? So see, 100 years is no time. So imagine in 50 years, let's just say 50 years, the music from 50, let's say from 1900 or 1920, from 1920 to now. You see how the music changed? Where'd that music come from? Where'd those sounds come from? So that shows you that tsunami of that built up energy and that music and all that transmission, all those images came through to alter the sound, alter the frequency, alter all of these things and bring them in. You see? So now that solar projection is coming in again. It's time for another extension. It's time for another extension. Only in this extension, the people who are directing the current, and notice I said the word directing the current, not alternating the current. The people that right now the current is being alternated. Right? The current is going to be directed. That heat current, that tsunami of projection is going to be directed through a form of wizardry. It's going to be connected and transmitted, parceled out in different places. That time is coming. All right? Let me try something, because, we always get somebody who wants to try something. 111. 111, you're on air. 111, going once, going twice. Third time, fourth time, goodbye. We usually get wild cards on these type of nights. Anyway, so all these images are being channeled in as direction into the next. Where everything is supposed to go. And that commercial where they showed the white people running on all fours and the humans running on all fours and the almond was flying over them, you think that the humans wanted to turn into that? Or was it directed to them to turn into that? You think the almond was like, the former black man was like, yeah, I want to fly. That nigga just started flying. He's just going to get thrown into it. You're just going to get thrown into it. If you of it, you're going to be of it. If you ain't, you're going to get kicked out of it. That's just how it's going to go. You're going to wake up one day, you're going to be able to do it. Some of you who are the elect. And then some of you just going to be like burnouts. Tossed aside. In a state of blackness. Still sitting up here listening to the so-called white man after all this time. Still believing what he's talking about. Right? A man that told you that a grown man could put on a dress and be called she and go to a bathroom with little girls. This is who you listening to. You see, this is who you listening to. This is who you want me to take seriously and talk about, if I don't repeat what they say, I'm pseudo, I'm fake if I don't repeat what they say. This is who you want me to listen to. You niggas are bugged out of your minds. You still listening to the so-called white man in this day and time? Oh, yeah, that's right. Y'all the niggas walking around with the mask on. Right. So anyway, this is an ongoing transmission. This is an ongoing transmission. This is an ongoing frequency. This is an ongoing extension of what we are supposed to be growing into. Amen is sending that. Life-changing events and situations and linear motion is being set forward for the elect, right? Meaning we're seeing constant and eternal possibilities in what we could be doing and growing into and evolving. We're starting to see, we're going to start to experience a whole new creative frequency and an extension of our thoughts and the ideas of what we want to bring through and express in ourselves. While you want to have those who are going to be moving in that lowly circle of darkness, depression, they're going to keep seeing their life going in the same circle, the same type of people in their life, same type of thing. They're going to keep going through that. And like I said, now with this heat wave and this tsunami of solar projection, it's just going to show itself even more. It's going to bring it out even more. It's going to make it more, it's going to magnify their lives and make it show just how small and minute their lives are. And like I said, with the COVID-19 thing, when they got their ability taken away from them to go to their job, right? When they got their ability taken away from them to go get their goddamn hair weave, that's all it took for the nigga woman whole world to end. She can't go to work for the white man. She can't wear hair weave from the Asians. She can't get her nails done from the Asian woman. You know what I'm saying? She can't go out and spend money with the Jews. She can't go out here and do, basically be liberated. So she forced to sit at home. Her goddamn whole world is over. Or she relegated to doing maybe going to the post office and going to the supermarket and bringing her black ass back home. Now so her whole world is over. And you saw the so-called white woman, they couldn't even take it. They just melted down. They went crazy and whatnot. Started going on. So again, It's forcing the reality. It's forcing these people. This heat wave and this tsunami of projection is going to force people to look deeper at themselves, and they're not going to like what they see. Even the simple-minded ones are going to look deep at themselves. They're going to look at what their life is basically summed up to be, which is nothing. They're going to look at their life, right? Because, activity in your life, a lot of that, all that activity, all these people that need all that activity in your life, your distraction, all that activity in your life, going out to this club over here, going out to this bar over here, going to the gym over here, having this over here to do, got to be going over here and this way and wandering about and trying to find something to do with yourself. Those of you who need that kind of stimulation, that's being cut off in you right now. Because the reality of what you are meant to become is making itself present and clear. With that being said again, let me come out to read these questions before we go. What is the heat wave and the tsunami of solar projections to come? Basically, extended images of the future. Extended solar projections of the future. Images that are currently being burned in or branded into this time frame, things that are being added into this time frame from out of the blue, aka out of the fourth dimension, and into this three-dimensional realm, altering it for the fourth dimension. Things that are coming to alter things within the three-dimensional realm, extend things. So you're going to start to see, you might see things, like I say, you might see things in the sky that's flying and whatnot. You might think they damn UFOs, and they might not. They probably just future modern day damn helicopters and aircrafts that you think is UFO. A lot of that stuff is just future stuff here. That's going to be built by the Greys under the direction of the Army. A lot of that stuff you think is spaceships is really future visions of visuals you getting where these images are popping in and out from the future world. A lot of these things, they're not coming from no different planets. All right. Why are they coming? They're coming to deliver the images in the present. All right? To deliver future images in the present. Who are they coming from? They're coming from the Army. The Army are channeling in these images to alter things in this present state, to start to evolve things. Right? Who are they coming? Who are they coming to? To the elect into the world, not just the elect, but to those even in the three-dimensional world, because they're going to be altered by this frequency too. It's a heat frequency that's sending everything that's projected by way of projection into this atmosphere. Right? What will they deliver for the future? Future images, future ways of life, future law and order, all the things that we are evolving to. Right? Let me see. Where are they coming from the fourth dimension and beyond? And that's it. We're going to close out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen, and Amen we trust, and Amen we think, and in Amen we continue forward forever. I am the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ. This has been Intellect Radio. I'll see you guys back here Monday night at 10. Good night.
Rising out the black race to the bright race, out the black race to the bright race. It's the Republic of Metellect, black race to the bright race. If it's hell, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can do.